So you go from $500,000 to $1.2 million to
Yep.
2.6.
Yeah.
And this year, you know, based on the activity you have going, you're going to break 4 million.
Yeah, based on what I learned actually yesterday from you, the 3 months you create a trend. So if we take that 3 months and extrapolate it, we'll be north of 4.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Dawson. Welcome back to another episode of The B. Dawson Show, where, as you know, I interview forward-thinking thought leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners who are making it happen, who are absolutely crushing it. And today I have a good friend of mine, Adam. Adam, introduce yourself. Tell everybody what you do and where you're from.
Perfect. I'm Adam Rutledge. I run a real estate sales team in Medford, Oregon. And our mission is to positively affect the lives of our clients by providing them access to the benefits of real estate. And those benefits are stability, security, and freedom. And we do that by helping them buy, sell, and invest.
Awesome. Now, you and I started working together, I don't know, how long ago?
Well, actually, I went to the very first 10X 360 you had, which was called the Executive Summit in June of 2019.
Wow, that was the first one we ever did.
Yeah, back then it was you and your Audigy team. And Natalie couldn't remember why she didn't remember I was there. She said, she grabbed me the day I was doing my platform and said, "You're the only guy who went to that and didn't sign up for the next event." So we forgot about you. But here I am.
Goodness. Well, how could we forget about you? How could we forget about you? So you went to the 360, and what was your business doing before you went to that 360?
You know, we were about $500,000 a year that year.
Yep.
And this year we're going to break 4 million.
Yeah, so well, you just go straight to the kill, don't you? Straight to the kill.
I was doing the math this morning.
A bottom liner. Love it. All right, so let's so everybody can get up to speed for your journey, because I think what's important is a lot of business owners will talk about where they're at. But for listeners and watchers, if you're watching me on YouTube, this show, or if you're listening to it on iTunes or Spotify, they like to kind of hear about the journey. So you came in, you're a single producer basically.
Yeah.
You came to the 10X 360 and you learned all the things you didn't even know you should be thinking about relative to your business.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so we go to that June of 2019. I had just been introduced to the Cardone suite of services and the 10X lifestyle in September of 2018. Sign up for the Growth Con. That was the one that you went to.
Yep.
In like October of 2018, I had actually invested in Cardone Capital first.
It's awesome.
I wasn't liking the real estate market at the time, so I threw some money in with Grant. Went to the Growth Conference, was blown away at what, you know, Cardone can do, and signed up for the Cardone University. You know, I had 3 salespeople, and we're selling real estate, and I quickly realized that we didn't have any formal training. We didn't know what a sales process was. We didn't know how to qualify people. And so we first skilled up, and that really helped, you know, to become a real business instead of like a solo operator. You know, I had a couple people we were training, and then I met you at that first boot camp.
So let's talk a little bit about Cardone U. So business owners just don't understand the value of Cardone U. Cardone U gets you and your team training together. It gets you guys communicating, overcoming objections, learning how to craft your communication skill set, increasing your competency, increasing your confidence.
Yes.
And you get transparency into how well people are actually able to present and then handle objections and things. So you get full transparency into who your people that are spooling up faster, so you can start giving them more attention and giving them more of the quality leads. And I just think business owners way underestimate or don't know that Cardone U is out there and how effective it is. It helps spool you up. Talk a little bit about what that's done for your team.
Oh, man. So the biggest concern I had before signing up for Cardone U was we're not going to use it, right? Because it doesn't matter how great something is if you don't use it, but there's an accountability component. So every morning, we all get an email. I do Cardone U every day. My entire team, including admin staff, everyone does it every day, and we all get an email. Who did it? Who didn't do it? Because our expectation is 4 modules by 9 o'clock a.m. every morning. And so immediately, even as the business owner, I'm going to do it because I need to make sure that I'm leading the pack. You're like, oh, Adam signed us up for this fancy sales training. He's not even doing it. So we started doing it all together at first. Like, hey, this is something I'm committed to. And even the two salespeople I had at the time, they thought it was going to be a flash in the pan, another one of Adam's crazy ideas. And this is our third year of it. So it has completely transformed the way my people talk on the phone. And the first thing we learned was RDRs, reactionary defense responses. Because we'll meet someone at open house. Hey, welcome to the open house. What information can I get you? Oh, I'm just looking. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, everyone that comes to an open house is just looking. There's, one reason you came to this particular one, would it be the price or the neighborhood? Because everyone always says just looking, and until you can get past that, your sales cycle.
So basically, you're all training together. You're learning to embrace objections or people who are trying to defer and deflect. And so Cardone, you really get you guys focused and working together, and it tells you who on your team is actually actively engaged with trying to do the business, right?
Yep.
So then you come to the executive program, and I walk you guys through the process of what it entails to actually start, build, scale, go to scaling, rapid expansion, and then eventually exiting your business. And I lay it out, and you go through that process, and you're like, whoa, there's a bunch of things I didn't know about.
Yes.
And you go home and put your head down. Because I always tell people, look, when you come through 10x 360, you have the highest probability that you're going to grow between 30 and 50% within 6 months.
Absolutely.
Just because of 3 to 5 things that you don't even know you should know. Mm-hmm. And so you go through the executive program, and what happens with your business?
So it doubled. That next year it doubled. So the one mistake I made is I disconnected. So I spent the money on Cardone U, went to the Growth Con, sent my people. We all went to boot camps, got introduced to you, went to that first executive summit, and then we pulled away. As a small business owner, right, you're thinking it's money, thinking as a spend instead of an investment. And that haunted me for 6 months. It's like, I need to get back in contact with Brandon. Because one thing you said at that boot camp was, everyone's talking scale. I need to scale. And you said, hey guys, little secret, when you say scale, all it means is you're too small. And that would echo in my head because I've never built a business this big. You have. So I don't know what I don't know. And that's 98% of knowledge. So reconnecting with Cardone Ventures then enabled me to start to know what I don't know and actually get a path to growing something bigger than I've ever grown before.
So then you came back and you're like, you know what? I need to invest to have you guys engineer my business. That's something that we do for business owners. And so we build that engineering process. It takes about 6 months. Mm-hmm. Actively engaged with you, talking about trials, tribulations, opportunities, threats, weaknesses, your team, how to do all this stuff with your team, and then we deliver that plan to you. Now, when did you join EXP?
So I joined EXP July 1st of 2021. So 7-8 months ago.
So Elena Cardone, you joined directly to Elena, right?
Yep, I am. She is right above me.
Yeah. So now I run Elena's business case, and so this gives an opportunity for both of us to work together. So we're building your platform. We deliver your platform. You're doing about $1.2 million, and you've popped up to making about, what, $350,000?
Yeah. Yeah, and that would be like profit after I'm paying myself. And
yeah, so that's first time your business ever generated that kind of profit, right?
Yes, real profit. Once you add, most of the time people say they make a profit, but the owner's not paying themselves.
Yep.
So yeah, real profit.
So this another thing we talk about is pay yourself and then look at what your profitability is, because a buyer is going to come in and they're going to say, well, if I bought your business, I want to pay myself too. And what's left over, right?
Yep.
So we platform, we deliver your business case, you join Elena, and then you get the benefit of all the advantages of the training that we've built inside of EXP. Elena's been building inside of her system for her team members. And all of a sudden, what happens to your business last year?
We did over $100 million in sales, which led to like $2.6 million in gross income.
So you go from $500,000 to $1.2 million to $2.6.
Yeah.
And this year, based on the activity you have going, you're going to break $4 million.
Yeah, based on what I learned actually yesterday from you, the 3 months you create a trend. So if we take that 3 months and extrapolate it, we'll be north of 4.
And talk a little bit, because one of the things you struggled with that you needed to deploy was the rule of 3 in these concepts that I teach, and learning how to duplicate. People say in business, they're like, how do I recruit good people in business? Well, first of all, you recruit good people in business when you show them the numbers that you're able to achieve, and then you offer to help them.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about when you started applying the Rule of Three, actually developing a team, how much that's opened up the ability to recruit.
Yeah. So one of your key performance indicators we talk about is 250,000 revenue per employee. So first, I've got to get myself skilled up to where I can produce 250 to 500 on my own. And now I have the skill set to then invest in 3 people. So I've got 3 people. I've got Kat, Logan, and Autumn that I'm pouring into. And then each one of them also has 3 people they're pouring into. So now I train 3 people once, everything I've got into them, show them that I'm going to make their success easy and they can be most successful through our business instead of on their own. And they're all in. Because now my goal, based on what we've talked about, is I made my 350. Now I want each one of them to make 350, and then each one of them can help someone underneath them make 100,000, and it's working.
Yeah. So look, I mean, first of all, you were unbelievably smart to pivot into EXP because I call EXP. There's very few actual business structures that I call money multiplier models, where for the same energy that you would go about trying to generate an income, you can actually generate a diversified stream of income by building a massive team of people who are following a strong leader who can show them how to succeed. And now you get derivative income, you get leveraged income, you get stock incentives. All of a sudden you're able to build into not only equity but leveraged income, and the definition of that is income generated by other people.
Yeah.
And that business model lets you do that and replicate it over and over and over. And the hardest thing for business owners is showing other people how to succeed.
Yeah.
Once you can show them how to succeed using that Rule of Three that you just articulated, and this is anybody listening or watching, part of our 10X 360 program teaches you exactly how to build the Rule of Three, how to multiply through other people, and then how to put your energy on working with those 3 people to get them to do the same thing with 3 people. Because now you're at 9 people strong and you have plenty of examples, and other people can go, I want that kind of success too. And everyone says, we can show you how to do it because we've got the system to do it. How has that helped you with your confidence of your business?
Oh, great. So joining EXP was huge. Like you said, now my team is incentivized to recruit people because they can just get a little bit of whatever their production is as they recruit. So now instead of them recruiting to make the boss money, they're recruiting because it's good for them. So our incentives are aligned there. And then understanding that what the job I do today, training these 3 people, is not the job I'm going to have to be doing forever. And the job that they're doing, training their counterparts, we have now like an employee maturity model where as I elevate my lids, they can then grow inside of our organization. And the EXP model's really helped us there.
Yeah, so again, if you're listening, you're like, what's the employee maturity model? We call it the EMM. So we've designed over the last 20 years, what I've designed in our business systems is the OMM and the EMM. So if you're like, what the heck does those acronyms mean? I'll tell you. The OMM is what Adam's talking about. That's the owner maturity model. That's the owner learning to mature through the business and take advantage of the market opportunity. The EMM is the employee maturity model. It shows people how to come in at any level and what they need to do in order to eventually evolve as high as maybe a partner or co-owner of another location or business model or whatever the business model is. But when you have a money multiplier model where you can teach people at the same time they're earning to multiply their money, just like you're doing, it is the most leverage you'll ever have in business. And you're just starting to crush it. Yeah. When you think the next 3 years from now or 5 years from now, working with Elena inside of EXP, the business resources and solutions, and here's a tip. Adam has gone to our 360 program. He's on the Cardone U program. Yep. We platformed his business, and we actively manage his business with him. So he's hired our organization, and here's the hint. We are building that whole process out for anybody that's inside of EXP and in Elena's network, her group. And so what's beautiful about that is Adam is the forward thought leader on this. So if you think about it, you're not learning from somebody that you can't connect to. You can just follow what Adam's doing because Adam's doing what everyone needs to do to build a business. And we're going to continue to talk about it and update it. But if you're sitting there going, I'm struggling making $500,000 a year, I want to make $4 million a year and pay myself and make $4 million, right?
Yeah.
How good does that feel, dude?
Good. You like it.
And when you fast forward 3 years from now, how do you see it? Where do you see yourself?
Just based on our conversations and on what the platform, because part of what the platform does is run projections based on what
How big does it say you can get?
It says in 5 years we can be 25 million.
5 years, 25 million.
Yep.
And now you have an exact plan. How many people you need, what the compensation structures are, what markets you need to be in. Mm-hmm. And every time you sit down with someone and they go, hey, Adam, how do you know that I can be successful? You can say, let me show you what I did. Let me show you what I did with my team. And let me show you how big the market opportunity is. And let me show you exactly where we're going. And then the only question is, do you have what it takes to do what these other people done?
Yeah. It's simple. It's not easy because it takes hard work. And it takes consistent work. That would be some advice I'd give, to people in Atlanta's downline is take advantage of all the tools and training that is there and then be consistent. We're consistent with our training. We're consistent with working out in the morning. Pretty much the entire team does that. And once consistency over time really compounds.
And so what kind of things when you work with the SBU team here, our strategic business unit team, kind of think of them if you're watching or listening to this. That's like flight control. So, you like when I go to get on my airplane, I tell the pilots, I want to take off at such and such time, and I want to land at such and such. And they're like, okay. So I come pulling up. I get out of my car. I walk on the airplane. The door shuts. We take off. We land. And I walk off the plane, get in my car, and I go wherever I'm going. Yep. Now, there's a lot of logistics that happen in between me walking on that plane and me walking off that plane. And there's a lot of people involved. You have maintenance. You have the management. You have scheduling the flight path. You have somebody operating the controls and communicating with different places as they're flying around. I mean, the pilots have all this work, but as a passenger, I'm in the back. I don't pay attention to any of it. I don't, unless I hear this alarm, whoop, whoop, pull up. Every once in a while I hear it, and they're like, don't worry about it. We're just, we're just slowing her down or whatever. It's always a little fun when you hear that.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, when you're in your business, our strategic business unit is like the pilots and flight control. And your job is to get on the aircraft, get where you need to go, do the things you need to do in order to pay for the aircraft.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's investment. And what you were saying before is you would think of that as cost.
Yes.
But now all of a sudden you go $500,000, $1 million, 2.6 million, 4.5 million. All of a sudden you realize, hey, I'm investing in rapid expansion and growth, building a financial future intentfully to create a business that's sellable.
Yeah. And for the investment piece, so when we went to that first executive summit in 2019, I also owned coffee shops. It was a franchise, and I was in the middle of negotiating a new franchise agreement. So one of your guys sent me some articles, and we talked about a good way to negotiate a more aggressive buyout structure, and that actually took place in September of this year. So wow. The money I spent in 2019, I ended up selling those coffee shops for a higher multiple based on what I negotiated from what your guys taught me back in 2019. So I got a 10x return on that.
Isn't it awesome to have a resource where not only can someone help you plan the growth of your business, teach you how to teach others to do it, give you the tools, give you the resources, come alongside you and actually assist you, but also give you the kind of guidance and advice that allows you to take something and just make more money off it because you know what you're doing.
Yep.
This is what I love about this 10X community, by the way. It's just all of us in this 10X community have chosen to be in this vision that Grant and Elena Cardone have created to where it's like when we're all together, none of us are going, how do we get small? How do we stay comfortable? Yeah. Do you really want to work that hard? It's just so hard. None of us are, we're all like, how do we get bigger? How do we do it faster? How do we help each other? It's an unbelievable community.
Yeah, and early on, I had heard over and over again, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I quickly realized, small town, we've got 250,000 people. There's not a lot of big businesses and big business owners I've been able to connect with on a high level. So instead, I have then I consider you, Grant, Elena, Natalie, people I spend a lot of time with, whether it's on the Monday night calls, the Tuesday night calls with Elena, the Wednesday afternoon calls with the 10X roundtable, to where I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people that are growth-minded, because it's very easy, wherever you are, to be around people that don't want to work that hard and say, hey, when's enough? So to be around people like you is huge. So I've manufactured
I was just
that.
asked that question by a buddy of mine. We used to play golf 20 years ago, a good friend, right? Mm-hmm. And we play golf every year together. And he goes, so tell me what's happening. So I tell him. And he goes, I can't believe how big you gotten, so how much bigger, because he watched me grow 3 different companies.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, but I got to ask you, man, when's enough enough? Like, you've got enough. Why ain't you? I go, dude, I am retired. I do what I want to do every single moment, every single day with people I want to do it with. I can't think, and I get to do it however I want to do it. I don't know what retirement looks like, but to me, that sounds like retirement.
Yeah.
And I said, the question I have for you is, what are you doing all day, every day?
That is a question, because, retirement, hey, when are you going to retire? The same thing. Like, well, if I had all the money in the world, I would be doing exactly what I'm doing. This is fun. Winning is fun. Positively affecting the lives of others is at the core of our mission, and that's how we do it. We're helping them in the real estate space. We're helping them grow their real estate businesses, their downlines, helping investors bring in passive income. So I'm with you there. I mean, this is retirement. We're doing exactly what we want to be doing.
Dude, I can't wait, because I know I know what trajectory you're on. I know how focused and dedicated you are. Most importantly, if you're listening or watching this, let me just tell you that the only way you're going to get big is by creating value in others and showing them how to succeed. There really isn't any other formula to get big. I don't know of a single business owner, a single entrepreneur, a single successful person, a single entity that's ever been on this world that did it by themselves. Even Jesus Christ had people helping him.
That's 12.
So Elon Musk, he got a lot of people helping him.
Oh, man.
Bill Gates, I mean, how big is his team? So you go around and you look at all these big names. The Amazon guy, Bezos, is he by himself? I don't know how many employees he has. More than, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, right? Yeah, he's got his own army. So at the end of the day, all those big names that you see and you hear about, none of them are doing it by themselves. And so you've got 31.5 million small to mid-sized businesses in the United States, and small to mid-size is defined under $100 million in revenue. 25 million have a single person working by themselves. So we know they ain't big.
Yeah.
And you were one of those guys.
Oh, 100%.
And how much better and more interesting is it when you can start building a team and showing them how to win?
Well, as a solopreneur, single real estate broker, and I also was building houses, I had no accountability, right? So I would show up to work when I wanted to. I was inconsistent in all things, and then the income in business showed inconsistency. It wasn't until I was responsible for the livelihood of other people that I stepped my game up. Because now, I hire my first assistant, and they're at the office at 8 o'clock because they need their 40 hours to put food on the table and to pay their rent or pay their mortgage. So that means I got to show up at 7 to make sure they have something to do. And I have to be more productive so I can make money off of them, right? If I'm making $100,000 and then I pay someone 40, I'm down to 60. So I got to make $140 to be where I was before. And so that the people part is what drove me to be successful, and then realizing that now I want to positively affect their lives. People aren't going to stay with us forever. Some people are going to move on, but knowing that we've been able to help them and left a positive mark on their life is what gets me out of bed every day.
Well, when you have a money multiplier model, the beautiful thing is all those people can come and take an hourly wage and minimum wage, and they can work with you. They can start training on the same things you're training on. Mm-hmm. They can go get their real estate license. They can start prospecting with you, and they can start meeting people with you. They can start bringing people to you. They can recruit with you. They can go and train with you. And all of a sudden, they've got the skill sets to start listing, selling, and buying homes. And you're developing them. That is the EMM model, the employee maturity model, showing people that are dependent on a paycheck. For those that want to be in a structure, which is what I absolutely love about EXP. It's why Elena joined it, because she wanted a vehicle that millions of people could succeed inside of. That because I'm going to tell you, when you watch my Breakpoints and I say, The most important breakpoint is breakpoint 1, because if you can generate between $100,000 and $300,000, or $3 million. So breakpoint 1 is $100,000 to $3 million.
Yep.
If you can generate $2-3 million in breakpoint 1, you've got a real business.
Yeah.
But breakpoint 2 is $3 to $8 million, and that is technically entirely different than what you have to do in breakpoint 1. And then breakpoint 3 is 8 to 15. Well, when you have a model and then breakpoint 4 is 15 to 25. So you have a model that shows you exactly how to go generate $25 million, what you need to do, reverse engineer down to the activities that you need to do every day, every week, every month. And you know what's available to you. Well, now all you need to do is understand in breakpoint 1, what do you need to do to set up breakpoint 2? In breakpoint 2, what needs to be done in order to set up breakpoint 3? And then in breakpoint 3, what needs to be done to be profitable and grow into breakpoint 4, which is under $25 million in revenue.
Yeah.
And at that point, you have a business where you could literally sell that business for $50 million or more. And now you've created a real net worth.
Yeah.
And so when you have that right in front of your face and you think, okay, 5 years, 6 years from now, I could be worth $35 to $50 million versus tinkering around. How much better does that feel every morning when you get that cup of coffee?
Yeah, I mean, right? Like that's the owner maturity model. I mean, they're just like those little Dutch dolls that go inside of each other. So I've got a team, and then we're inside of your team, and so the bigger you guys get, the bigger we get. And what's funny is when you're solo, you're doing everything, right? You're cleaning the toilets, you're opening and shutting down shop, you're doing all the activities, and then you don't have time for family or for other things. So even now, having people help, so I'm not doing everything, allows me time with my wife and my kid, so then we can have a better life. So other people's lives are being positively affected, as well as my life. So it makes business more sustainable. And then to have a vision for like a $35 to a $50 million number, a little exciting. Get me one of them jets.
Hey, look, so I just appreciate you coming on the B. Dawson Show, sharing your story. Obviously, those listening to his story, he's living proof that, and he'll tell you, if he can do it, anybody can do it.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, he just made the decision to do it. He was willing to take the risk in investing in his own dreams and goals. And it has been an absolute pleasure to get to work with you. I cannot wait to see how much we're going to crush it this year. And that's what I love about these podcasts, is that from an accountability standpoint, every year I'm going to cycle people back through. What did we do? How did we do it? Because this creates a living library for anybody watching it in real time, that people are absolutely out there crushing it. And you just got to get yourself in the right business system. So thank you, Adam, for being on the B. Dawson Show. Loved having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So if you're listening or watching the B. Dawson Show and you're asking yourself, hey, am I in the right vehicle? Am I doing the kinds of things where I could make millions of dollars and teach others to make millions of dollars by showing them how I did it? If you want to be in a money multiplier model, I'll say that again, a money multiplier model. If you want to be in a money multiplier model where for the same effort that you're generating income, you could be multiplying that income by learning to build a team and a business, then you need to click on the link. You need to find us, because Elena Cardone has partnered with eXp Realty, and we have hundreds of people in her system that are becoming millionaires, and they're on their way to doing it each and every day. Adam is a living example.
Yep.
And here's the thing. She's developing an army of people like Adam, and I'm working with her on this. And so people that join and work with Elena will have access to the blueprint, the architectural plan, the leadership development process in order to absolutely crush it. So maybe you're looking for a career change, or maybe you're stuck in a realty agreement with somebody else that's not helping you. So you're showing up trying to find a way to create value, and they're not giving you the support. They're not giving you the help. If that sounds anything remotely like the situation you're in, or you just want a bigger, better, more impactful opportunity, make sure you click on this link. If it's on YouTube, they're clicking on the link. If it's on social media, you can click on the link. If you're listening to this and you don't have a link to click,
You can find us on YouTube. B. Dawson.
you can find us on the show, the B. Dawson Show. See, that's JC, the cameraman. So look, thank you for watching another episode of the B. Dawson Show. I promise you, your personal, professional, financial goals are our intention. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next show.